This video is not actually about Taylor Swift. It's actually about them. Well, not the people in particular. It's actually about the editing of concert films, specifically, drumroll please. Thank you. Stop Making Sense, directed by Jonathan Demme. In 1984, Stop Making Sense was released. The film, shot over a period of 4 performances at Hollywood's Pantages Theater, is an amazing experience. So, how did Jonathan Demme and Talking Heads make what many consider to be one of the greatest concert films of all time? Well, the secret, or should I say, secrets, lie in the editing and directing. In Stop Making Sense, the camera moves a lot. Instead of rapidly cutting between basic coverage, Demme often chooses to stay on a set of musicians as long as possible. In a 2014 interview with Time magazine, Demme said, "There is great power available by holding on any extended terrific moment and letting the viewer become more deeply involved in the performance at hand, instead of constantly interrupting the flow with unneeded cuts. Too much cutting usually speaks to a lack of editorial confidence in the players and the music." Here's a clip from the Hannah Montana documentary. Interesting. Often, when films cut quickly, the aim is to introduce artificial energy into the performance. But in Demme's opinion, it's far more entertaining for the film's audience to watch a long take, being able to soak in every minute detail of the performance, allowing for a deeper connection to the music and the musicians they love.
This performance is for you, the moviegoer, as opposed to being a record of a performance that was really for other people. I try to do in film what we do at a concert, which is sometimes we take in this whole spectacle of what's going on stage, and sometimes we'll isolate a certain musician, and sometimes we'll isolate an instrument in our own roving eye as we watch a concert. So I try to make a very subjective experience for the filmgoer.
It's Demme's subjectivity that makes Stop Making Sense stand out in a world of objective concert films.
I think of the camera as being able to provide moviegoers with a roving best seat in the house.
While other directors, like Eras Tour director Sam Wrench, direct a concert film as a documentation of the whole event, Jonathan Demme chooses to curate. There's a real heart to Demme's works, something you can rarely find when watching the average concert film. Modern concert films can tend to be a lot more formulaic. Something big happens, the camera's wide. You see the audience belting along to the chorus, ginormous stages, extreme camera moves, fast cutting when things build in intensity. Everything is mapped out perfectly. Demme's directing says, this may not be what you expect to see, but it's the most interesting thing happening on stage right now. Demme shows you the concert through his eyes, and it's that subjective story that makes Stop Making Sense so interesting. But let's go back to the audience. Where are they? In the film, we barely get to see them. At some points, we forget that we aren't watching these musicians perform directly for us. The film seems so personal and intimate. But the audience is there. They're always there. Once the songs are over, we can hear the audience hooting and hollering, but we never cut to them. Cutting to the audience is unimportant. They aren't up on stage. We didn't come here to see them. They're not performing. That's actually a little something Demme borrowed from The Last Waltz, directed by legendary filmmaker Martin Scorsese.
The 35mm brought out the expressions of the band, the people on the stage. I decided not to shoot audience either, because we've seen so many concert films where you see audience, no audience. Otherwise, we do see the audience in their point of view, from Robbie's point of view, or from behind, or whatever.
I thought that, and The Last Waltz was a film that really taught me this is true, that there's something very wonderful, very special, very unique about being able to watch a sustained moment of one of these 9 great people doing whatever it is they do. And I didn't think there was any kind of fancy editing that could equal the excitement of being able to hang in on Bernie Worrell or just any of them while they're doing what they do.
If you've struck gold, why cut away? Here's my clip from my favorite performance in the whole film. David Byrne and Tina Weymouth singing Heaven. They're the only 2 people on stage. The camera doesn't cut for the first 50 seconds of the song. The only camera move is a small push-in from a cowboy to a medium close-up. Dim understands that he does not need to cut away. He does not need to make the performance more engaging. He could easily cut to a close-up of David Byrne singing or strumming his guitar. He could definitely cut to Tina Weymouth, who hasn't been introduced at this point in the show. But he chooses to stay here. He chooses not to distract you. Dim understands that for the biggest impact, the opening of this song needs to be shown in full, and that's why I'm showing it to you in the same way. I've been Troy Steward. Thank you so much for watching.